Ladies and gentlemen, we've got some big news today. Hell Let Loose Vietnam has been officially announced. Let's check out the reveal trailer.
Product not yet rated.
They get it. They understand the Vietnam atmosphere. I think the inclusion of so much riverboating through the jungle shows that they are going to have a riverboat division, which was a thing during the Vietnam War, which means we could see some incredible naval fighting in this game. This looks awesome. They are completely nailing the Vietnam War aesthetic so far. I don't know what it is with video games where they release one really successful video game and then they go to Vietnam, but I love it. It happened with Bad Company. It happened with Rising Storm. Rising Storm 2 Vietnam is probably the last like major Vietnam War game that we've seen that is realistic and a milsim. So this is very exciting. All right. This looks absolutely incredible so far. I am very excited about this. Obviously, we have not seen much from it so far, but everything that we're seeing here looks really, really good. Clearly, they're going on a lot of guerrilla style footage here. So we have the Viet Cong sneaking up on a sniper team here in the hills, which a lot of the Vietnam War was guerrilla warfare. So this is going to be honestly really good. It looks like a very solid representation of the war. The weaponry used is just absolutely classic Vietnam War M16A4s, AKs. This looks great, and Hell Let Loose is just such a goated World War II game to start with, so I'm very excited about the Vietnam War aspect of this. Now, I want to take a little bit of time to go over some of the community reactions to this sudden Hell Let Loose Vietnam reveal trailer. This came out of absolutely nowhere, and I'm very excited about it. The Vietnam War is one of my favorite eras of history to learn about. It's so unbelievably interesting. Now, the community seems a little bit concerned. Half of everything I'm seeing right now is pure and utter excitement, which is great. The other half is concern over two things. Number one, that Hell Let Loose World War II is going to lose a lot of its support. And Hell Let Loose World War II is honestly one of the biggest World War II video games of all time. Certainly, as of right now, it probably has the largest player base, beating out Call of Duty World War II, beating out Battlefield 5, beating out Squad 44, beating out pretty much every other current World War II game. Enlisted, I can't really think of any others, but it's definitely the biggest FPS World War II shooter right now in this day and age. And so losing support on that would be quite sad, honestly. So I'm really hoping this might be a separate dev team, or maybe they're going to release Vietnam and then split their team in two, so that way one dev team is going to be working on DLC for Hell Let Loose and the other is going to be working on DLC / updates for Vietnam, and that way we don't lose complete support on Hell Let Loose. Now, the other complaint I'm seeing is that it's coming out next year. Guys, That's okay. It's alright for things to come out later. It doesn't have to come out the day after the reveal trailer. It tends to be that a reveal trailer is super early on and an official trailer will come later with a lot more details. Like, let's get over ourselves, okay guys? Let's chill on that. Either way, it looks absolutely incredible. I think that this is going to be one of the games of all time. This is going to be huge for people. And definitely a day one pickup for me. That's for sure. I think the community is very excited about this overall. I've only seen those little complaints out there. And a lot of people honestly talking about like, hey, I'm someone who loves Call of Duty. Will I enjoy this? And a lot of people saying, it's arcadey in terms of a milsim, but it's not really Call of Duty arcadey. And then other people are commenting that they like Battlefield. Will I like this? And people are responding, well, yeah, probably more than you like Call of Duty. It's a bit more leaning towards Battlefield. I would say it's more of a milsim than both Battlefield and Call of Duty combined, but it's still not quite a milsim to the degree of, say, something like Squad or Squad 44. Those are more towards Arma in terms of military simulation, whereas Hell Let Loose is a balance between the two. You know, it's a milsim, but at the same time, it's a little bit more arcadey. Alright, now let's read some direct quotes instead of just the vibes from the comment section. Magnia KH said, coming soon. Tank gets stuck on a single bamboo shoot and you can't deploy your bipod anywhere. That's very true. A lot of the times in these Vietnam War simulators, the jungle aspect, it doesn't work well for gaming because most of the time war games need a lot more open space. But if there's a ton of destructibility in the jungle, then it might be okay because then you can just clear away the debris and get your tank moving again, which would be good. Someone else commented, Hell Let Loose devs, we're here. How can you tell? The stiff and soulless character running. God dang. Then there is about 30 people quoting various Creedence Clearwater Revival songs, so we're back, baby. Penny Saver Variety says, I'm rock effing solid right now. Me too, brother, me too. Mally335 says, good enough, welcome back, Rising Storm 2. Alright, underrated comment right there. And then there's a lot of people talking about that they're very excited for some type of air battling in Hell Let Loose, since Hell Let Loose in general doesn't have a ton of air combat capabilities in it. Having the helicopters in the trailer makes people very, very anticipatory for that coming out. Hopefully that is a real thing and it's not just like cutscenes of troops deploying in Hueys or anything like that, but we actually get to pilot them. And it seems like from the gameplay trailer, we're going to be seeing some actual air combat in this. Other people are saying, wait, we got Vietnam before the Pacific? What the heck? And I completely agree, that seems a little bit odd, but maybe they were trying their best not to completely go after Rising Storm, since Rising Storm 2 is Vietnam. Before that was Rising Storm, which was the Pacific Theater, and before that was Red Orchestra 2, which was the European Theater / Eastern Front. So, you know, just going kind of from World War II to World War II Pacific to Vietnam would definitely be following an exact path of Pacific Theater combat from Rising Storm. On a more serious note, Mighty Magus says, I mean, I'm obviously excited to see Hell Let Loose Vietnam, but I'm also a bit sad that it's going to be completely separate from the original Hell Let Loose. I would have preferred if it came out as a huge DLC for the first one. That way the community wouldn't be split between the two games. It's not like it's an upgrade like it would be Hell Let Loose 2. I feel like it's a 50-50 situation. It has its upsides too, of course, but I really want to see how this goes. Splitting the community, having two games that use the same kind of strategy, even if they're from different eras, I think that would have worked better as a big DLC. Besides this, of course, I will play it. And while I do agree with him to some degree on that, a lot of the times when we see games get these massive DLCs dropped on them, the game becomes completely different. For example, Battlefield 5. I remember it was all European theater for the first, half, and then they released that big Pacific War update. And for a very long time, all I could find was Pacific War battling. I could not find any of the European theater stuff. And now it's a bit more balanced since it's an older game. It's about 50-50. But it tends to be when you do a massive update that completely changes the game, it almost changes the community and player base and splits it even farther, and you get people dropping off because they just want to play, for example, in this regard, World War II and not Vietnam, and you have the other half that only wants to play Vietnam, and they quit games immediately when the map changes over to World War II. So it definitely has its upsides and downsides to it. It will split the community a little bit, but at the same time, Vietnam is a much smaller conflict than World War II in terms of weaponry, in terms of map variation that they can do, in terms of factions, in terms of grand scale different battles. It is just entirely a different conflict than World War II. And what happens with Vietnam War games in general, I would say, is that the games and maps get very repetitive. So it might be a good thing that it's a separate game entirely, and that way people can go hop on, have fun in that, play the crap out of it, and then when they're kind of tired of the same, jungle map for the 1,000th time or whatever, you can go and jump back into the World War II game. And then once you get tired of playing World War II, you go jump in Vietnam again. So it can be a little bit of a benefit to that, given that the Vietnam War in general, as represented in past video games like Bad Company, like Rising Storm 2, etc., it tends to be a little bit samey in terms of the different maps you're playing on, the play styles, etc., etc., whereas World War II has a much broader amount of content you can bring into it. Either way, guys, I think this is going to be awesome. I am so excited about this. I'm really, really hoping that they can release this early 2026, but I'd rather have a fully complete, finished, polished game in late 2026 than something that feels a little bit more rushed. But it seems like, they've been working on this in the background for a long time. I have very, very high faith in Hell Let Loose to pull this off. I am very excited. Let me know your feelings in the comment section below. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Be sure to click that subscribe button for more content and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be alerted to whenever I live stream or upload. Thanks so much.